me just say I'm Debbie Catenacci with Dare to Be Curious with my co-host
Sherrill and Debi, and Happy New Year. And as we all do every New Year, on New Year's Day, we make all these resolutions and all these decisions of what this new year is going to be for us. But instead of just saying, wishing it, let's make it happen. And we want to help you do that this year. And so we're going to share with you what inspires us to make our dreams come true. So we're going to share, as Debbie says, our favorite quotes, one of our books, and then we're going to tell you what's going forward in this year, which is pretty powerful, and also a little bit more about ourselves and what motivates us to make this, even in the midst of everything that's going on, and we understand that we're all under siege, to just keep moving forward. So Debbie, let's start with you.
All right, so I'm going to share with you 3 quotes that have helped me, because sometimes we want something, but you need to get out of the want and have a desire. So just by changing that simple word from wanting into the desire so that you can move forward and manifest. So one of the quotes that have actually helped me to move forward, I'm going to read this to you, is you cannot travel within and stand still without. And that is from the book As a Man Thinketh by James Allen, one of the classics. And another quote that has helped me is, when the mind of man can conceive and believe, the mind of man can achieve. And that, a classic, Clement Stone. And I just thought, the mind of a man can conceive, because you need to conceive. You need to visualize what you want, and then you need to change that word want into desire. So you need to visualize the desire, that's the conception, and then believe in yourself, be your own cheerleader, and then the mind of man can achieve. You will be able to achieve it and manifest it. It's a process. It might take a little longer than you think, but you're probably getting there. And the third one is that if it's to be, it's up to me.
I love that one.
That's Zig Ziglar.
Yes, it's all up to you.
Well, this book has helped me. It's called Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. What a name, right? Eat That Frog. But it's just talking about doing the thing that you don't want to do. So, for example, when you wake up in the morning, you might have a list of 5 or 10 things you have to do. Do the thing that you really don't want to do first. So, in other words, you're eating that ugly frog first thing in the morning. The rest of it is going to be a breeze. So I love this book because it gives you strategies, not just fluff, but strategies. Applying the law of 3. Do what you can with what you have, where you are. So there's a lot of wisdom in this book, and this book has helped me implement strategies to achieve things I like. Again, Eat That Frog, Brian Tracy. I think it comes up a little backwards, but you can see what it looks like. So that's what's helped me. Sherrill, what would you like to share about yourself?
Well, you're talking more about the business aspect. The last 2 years have been very difficult for me because I lost my husband in 2020. After being together for a lifetime, I loved when I was barely legal, and spent the next 50 plus years together. So you can imagine that the last 2 years have been a journey that nobody wants to take, but one has no choice. So there have been lots of quotes that have helped me. And I know that there are others out there that have had different losses through divorce is a loss, just life changes. And one of my favorites is, I'm sure everybody has this one, it's a well-known proverb: just when the caterpillar thought the world was over, it became a butterfly. And I understand that feeling, because when the worst thing that can happen to you happens, you have to decide what you're going to do. And I think this says a lot. And of course, my other one, which I've lived with my entire life, and I'm sure everybody has, and I don't think I came up with this, but I have no idea who to give credit to, is never surrender, never give up. I mean, if you want something, you have to keep going. And my grandparents taught me that it doesn't matter how many times life knocks you down. I know these are all cliches, but they're cliches because there's truth in them. It doesn't matter how many times life knocks you down. What really matters is how many times you pull yourself up and you figure out a way to go around it, climb over it, or dig yourself out from under it. Because you have to keep going. And I hate the term starting over, because you never start over. You know, when you've had great loss, all the power of those emotions and those never to be forgotten moments and those memories, they give you power. They give you the power to figure out the rest of the time that you have. And this is why we created Dare to be Curious, because one of my other favorite quotes is, every day is a brushstroke on the canvas of your life. What are you going to choose to paint today? And I hadn't really decided that, because of course this was tremendously a life changer for me, as everybody that has had become a widow or widower understands. This book somebody suggested, and I suggested to anybody that has loss, and they thought I would enjoy it because I'm a writer. You know, I have 20 published novels. Not that my novels are anything like Joan Didion's, but Joan Didion's book, A Year of Magical Thinking. This is a book that I think anyone who has had loss needs to read, because it's profound, and there were moments in there, like, you know, I thought I was going crazy because I thought, I'm a writer. I don't like the ending of this. I'm going to change the ending. I can't give away John's clothes because he'll need them when he comes back. Because I'll figure out a way to make that happen. She says the same thing in her book, and it's a revelation. And I highly recommend it to anyone that's going through a really difficult time in their life. It has been a hard 2 years, which has sort of been the catalyst for Dare to be Curious, because I decided that I was going to paint every day of my life. I was going to paint it with curiosity, imagination, and love. And Debbie and I came together, and she had the same idea, and that's why we created Dare to be Curious, because we want to share those curious moments. If you're curious about something, let us know, because we are endlessly curious, and we're going to be sharing so much of life to make it big, bigger, biggest. Do not make your life small. Make it as big, bigger, biggest as you can make it, and we want to help you do that. So that's my, you know, we all make these New Year's resolutions. That's my New Year's resolution, that we want to continue I Dare to be Curious to help you make your life big, bigger, biggest. And through doing that, we make ours. And we're all in this together. We're women supporting women. So I know we're not going to get maudlin here. We're going to, you know, we're going to move forward into the new year.
Right.
And Debbie, tell me, I know that we have lots on the agenda. And
Lots.
she is so well organized. She will tell you that.
Lots on the agenda, and we're just going to take all of our emotion and we're going to move that forward into a positive outcome. So we're starting our book club, because as authors we love to read. So we're going to be picking out some of our favorite books and exploring new books. So we would like to invite you to join us. So once a month or every once in a while, we're going to have a series on our book club. And we're also going to have a series talking about parties and making parties fun and designing them, planning them, having the favors, having the invitations.
She loves the favors.
Well, biscotti, that's always one of my favorites. So what else, Sherrill, are we going to be doing this year?
Fashion, you know me, I'm like crazy about fashion. We're going to do some fashion some new fashion people, some great designers, particularly in February, because you know that February is Fashion Week in New York, and I was there there. Yeah, it's dynamite fun. It's like Sex in the City. London, and then of course the queen of it all, the Milan Fashion Show, and I have been there, and I did meet some great designers. It was so fun. I can't even begin to tell you. But anyway, we're going to try to share some great new designers with you in February. And we're going to be doing some travel pieces,
and we're going to talk about flowers and floral arrangements.
And listen, if you have something you're curious about, let us know, because if you're curious about it, we will be curious about it too. So please respond. Let us know what you want. What you know, if you have an idea for us, we'll go, yeah, let's try that. Right?
Absolutely.
And as things come up, which they often do, we want you to be part of it. So we will get you in there with our YouTube channel.
Yeah, be a part of it. We have a lot going on. We're doing our weekly email. We have a weekly blog, and then we have our weekly YouTube. And if you have an idea and you don't feel comfortable posting it publicly, email us, because we're looking for new ideas. We're curious. We are daring to be curious.
And I almost forgot our series on entrepreneurial women like you,
yes,
who are really making their dreams happen. And they're going to let us know how they make their dreams happen, and will help all of us make our dreams happen.
Absolutely. So inspiring women, we will be interviewing them, and they're going to tell us how they manifested their dreams, their desires.
It's going to help all us do ours too.
Absolutely.
And I will also be finishing a few books this year that I would be sharing with you. And if you have, and doing a little bit of a series on telling you how to follow your muse. She can be a slippery one, the muse, but you can rein her in. You can rein her in. And I'll give you some tips on that. And of course, Debbie is the cook in the group, and she'll have some tips for you. So we have an exciting year planned, and we want you to join us. And we wanted to make it the very best year we can make it for everybody. We know it's a tough time out there, and we're all in this together.
Yes, bringing elegance back to your life, one day at a time. We invite you to join the journey with us.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week in this new year. Thank you.